I can still see her red ribbon blowing in the wind, able to bend but not break, wrinkled but not torn, well worn but not faded, hair still braided, cut bangs. She's hanging on by a thread. Hold on, baby girl, hold on.
I came from the city that never sleeps. To the giant peach iced tea, I lived uptown. I made up my mind and took the train out of town. Spare change jingling in my pockets, the soundtrack for my tired feet beating pavements. Wish I would have known that the bright lights and gold-paved streets of this southern city would deceive me. All I had was a change of spare clothes. Didn't know that in the dimly lit street corners there were windows where pimps and hoes chose their new recruits. And I fit the profile perfectly.
A young girl who was weathered as if she'd been through some abuse.
And it's true.
See, life wasn't meant to be this hard. Sometimes it feels as if there is no God, or at least he's not listening. 'Cause at the age of 7, her parents traded heaven for hell and chose to sell her virginity to post daddy's bail. They said if she closed her eyes, it wouldn't hurt, and he wouldn't come for more if she didn't flirt. But they were wrong.
I ran away from a stepdaddy who was too touchy. And before his hands could lose control, I told my mother. She then proceeded to beat me and told me not to act so grown. I had to go. I had to steal her money, leave New York, and go. Had no place in mind. But when I arrived at the train station, the destination, Atlanta, just shined.
This one-night stand led to money in hand, producing a no-name brand of sex for sale. Well, 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 what do we have here?
I remember watching Nunu on ATL and thought I'd be just fine. It seemed like the hottest place to be and just the right incentive to give me the courage to leave. But there I was, alone in the streets. The shelter was no better place to be. Much more rape and thievery. I'd rather freeze. So I took a seat in my usual spot. From traffic, I was far from view. But someone knew where I slept. The exact trash can in which I ate. And for their sake, maybe I wanted to be found. So when she approached me with her warm smile, promise of a meal and room to myself, my defenses fell down, and I made the mistake to follow her. The first night, I got exactly what she promised. The first day, all went seamless. I came and went freely, but that night, I couldn't sleep. I heard the sound of jingling keys, and I opened my eyes to a line of men at the foot of my bed watching me.
Hundreds of groupies waiting in line.
Surveying my trembling body, I was naked. One by one, they took me, violently rattling my small frame. I woke up to the sheets being yanked from underneath my body, red ribbon blood flashing by my eyes. They sponge washed me clean.
Hundreds of groupies waiting in line for just a taste, looking to get in wherever they could fit in, sit in, or stand up just as long as they could get it up and keep her shut up in obscurity. She had no identity. No value, no worth. She couldn't even remember the day of her birth. It was all a blur. From her to him, sometimes from they to them, and the odds of getting out were slim. Baby girl became a lady all too soon. She grew up in a hotel room, tied to a bed, dead to the world.
Scene entered and ripped open. My womb was swollen. They could change my sheets, sponge me clean, but it will never change what they've taken from me.
Tied to a bed, dead to the world, but determined to live. They could take her body, but not her soul. You see, she was more than just a hole for pleasure, and she couldn't be measured in dollars and sex. She was more complex than a John in his hole. She was more than just a one-woman show. She was a life, though overwhelmed with strife.
And though I've since been rescued, it's still hard to find refuge. No, I'm not a Coach Carter success. No quick turnaround, microwave deliverance. I still struggle, I still hurt, I still cry, I still fume, 'cause I still feel filthy and used. When I'm around so many people, I feel see-through.
But the light in her eyes refuses to grow dim. Like the woman who reached for his hem, she knew there was something more. She had nowhere to go, but she knew she had to leave, cleaving to the innocence she once knew. Perhaps it was found in a red ribbon or two.
The agency that rescued me says that God loves me. And I'm not too hip on cliches, but I've tried everything else. So the idea of love seems okay. And if I can get love from someone who doesn't have pity in their eyes or seems surprised when they discover the things done to me in hidden nights, then maybe, just maybe, it's time I pray.
I can still see her red ribbon blowing in the wind, able to bend,
but not break,
wrinkled,
but not torn,
well worn,
but not faded,
hair still braided, cut bangs. She's hanging on by a thread. Hold on, baby girl. Hold on.